So, what are interest rates doing right now, and what should you think about before you refix? That's what I'm going to get into right now. It is nice to see that the wholesale rates have actually moved down, especially on the longer end, and that has led to the banks actually reacting with some downward movement on their fixed rates, especially on the 2 to 5 year fixed rates. They're actually in the mood to grow as well, with some of them, well, most of them actually now hitting 1% cashbacks for switching over to them. Now, remember, there can be costs to move. Talk to your financial advisor before you do that. Well, ideally, talk to us, really. We're financial advisors. 1% is interesting because it used to be at 0.8, kind of went up to 0.9, touched 1.5% just briefly. And that was like Christmas. Well, it was actually Christmas when that happened. But now it's kind of settled at 1%. We welcome it, we love it. But at the same time, it is important to think about that as what does it mean as an interest rate, right? So these tools around now, which kind of can work that back into an interest rate. So, what does that 1% really mean in terms of the effective rate? What should you think about though if you're about to refix, consider refinancing, and you don't, you just kind of want to make sure that things are robust and well structured for the years to come. The things I'm addressing right now with clients clients that are on good incomes, they seem to be good financial footing, and have decent discipline with their finances. Strangely enough, one of the things I see they get into, they kind of fall into this idea of like pushing themselves to make the repayments higher, shortening their loan terms. Sometimes when they haven't been in touch with us for a few years, and then we'll look at their things to tidy up, and it's like, oh, you've shortened your term or something. Or you've forced the fixed rate repayments higher. Now, sometimes that's a good thing, but a lot of the time that can be a dangerous thing, because when you shorten the paper term, the documented term, it can mean that if you get into a little bit of strife and you need some help, and you need a bit of a buffer, you actually now have to apply to the bank, and that's a full application. And often when you're in a weak position, that's when you need help, when you need to stretch the home loan term. That is not the strongest platform to be able to get an approval from the bank, right? Because the banks want to look at your ability. So what we do is, when you're in a good place and you don't have the need, that's the best time for us to structure things. Stretch out the term, get you used to using revolving credits or offsets instead, to actually save the interest, because the paper term stretch kind of highlights. The paper term means it's kind of the maximum term, but it doesn't actually point out what you could bring it down to, which really on table home loans, on floating, revolving, you can shorten it as much as you want with optional repayments. And the key word there is optional. You have control. You retain the actual flexibility, right? So that's important for us. We do that. And I guess the other things you want to think about is, how much certainty do you need? What's ahead for you in the future? What are your main concerns? What's important for your family? Because those things can really help us to fine-tune the loan structure, to make it good for you in the long run. Anyway, hopefully that has been, I guess the key thing is talk to a financial advisor like ourselves, because you can tailor make this stuff, right? But thank you for watching. Hopefully that's been insightful. Yeah.